Alright guys, today is our first field trip video, and today we're starting small at scenic Astoria Park. The cool thing about Astoria Park is it's not too far away from my apartment. It's beautiful, and it's also nestled right under the RFK Bridge, which is just kind of incredible standing next to this thing. It's absolutely huge. It's formerly known as the Triborough Bridge. It connects Queens, the Bronx, and Manhattan. Here we are at Hell's Gate Bridge. We're the second of the two bridges that the park is nestled between. This one, Hellgate, it's for trains. It's not for peoples. It's for trains. Got some cool architecture around here, in right by the river. I think Astoria is actually quite pretty, and yeah, I'm really enjoying living here. Yeah, here we are, closer down by the river. Yeah, it's actually quite pretty down here. Obviously, it looks better when the the weather's been nicer for longer and all the grass is green. But yeah, it's actually I really like it down here. Sometimes you get a Mr. Softies, get an ice cream, you know, check out the lady joggers if you're a giant perv like I am, stuff like that, you know. Still look for a spot. I found a perfect spot if you were Marion though, and this is how you know you're in Astoria. All the white people. All right, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna walk around like a weirdo and just talk to the camera. Figured, you know, most people are gonna probably understand what I'm doing, and if they don't, then they'll just think I'm crazy or homeless or both, which is, you know, that's probably fair. Have you guys ever noticed that when you play online, you'll go like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 duels in a row, undefeated, kicking everybody's ass, but then you go to a tournament and you get just raffle stomped? Like, what's the difference? What's, oh guys, this is uphill. What's the breakdown between your online play and your offline play? Well, I think one of the things is we need to look at is what you are using to test your deck. Are you on Dueling Book? Are you on YGOPro? This slow incline's killing me. I am out of shape. No idea whether or not this is looking at me, whether it's autofocused out the butt. It's all over the place. I don't know. I think the first thing you're gonna have to figure out is which one you are playing. I found that the quick speed and testing ability of YGOPro is actually really my preferred media for testing a deck. However, a lot of people do have gripes with it, and I do understand what they are. A big one is that YGOPro does kind of coach you, if that makes any sense. Like the green circle, whenever you're just trying to figure out what to do, half the time you're probably just, I don't know, clicking around, and you might find yourself in a situation where you didn't realize you could do something, and the game shows you, hey, you can do something. And I think it's this, that it's a lot of people's main gripe with the program, because it's kind of coaching you, actually. You can alleviate this by playing Dueling Book. I don't like Dueling Book because it's completely not automatic. However, if you're trying to figure out which one is closer to reality and which one isn't, I would say Dueling Book by a mile. Biggest reason for that is none of the cards in that actually do anything. They're just pictures of cards, and you just need to click around and tell them what to do, and it's up to you and your opponent to figure out which one of you is cheating, or if you guys are both playing by the rules. This is a great way to alleviate any of your inadvertent coaching, as well as there are certain bugs with YGOPro that sometimes cards don't work exactly like they work. I would say on the whole though, the program is pretty good about it. I've rarely run into a situation where I thought a card didn't do what I thought it did, and if I did, I ended up just watching the replay and realizing I just forgot that there was a lingering effect or something, and that the game was actually correct and I was wrong. The only thing I could think of on the top of my head would be Relinquish's interactions with kaijus. If you have a kaiju on your side of the field, you try to suck up their kaiju, the kaiju will die by game mechanics before it's fully equipped, and I don't think that's right. I'm pretty sure the kaiju equipped to Relinquish is considered an equipped spell, so it shouldn't blow up by game mechanic, but I'm not honestly positive. However, that's just out of breath Dave going on a tangent. I believe the biggest reason why you might find a breakdown between your online play and your offline play is the medium in which you use it. I would definitely say that Dueling Book is probably a better option if you actually want to know what a tournament experience is like. Also, another thing you can do to alleviate this breakdown is to play matches. I know they're long and they're boring, but I can never stress enough the importance of a side deck, and more importantly, the importance of a good side deck and then knowing how to use it. That is probably your biggest thing that you will not be able to do if you are on YGOPro playing like single duels over and over and over again. It's gorgeous out. Part of the impetus for these field trip videos, even if they might be a little sporadic and all over the place, because I'm trying to think on the fly and, I don't know, move around. The doctor told me that my vitamin D was like really low. So yeah, this is me soaking up that UV rays and getting all the skin cancer, because apparently that's your lesser of two evils. I don't get whomped by a frisbee. Now you're finding yourself playing matches with a proper side deck on Dueling Book, and you're making your very best to get all of the variables out of the way so that you are indeed playing the best analogy for tournament play, and you're still finding there's some sort of disconnect. What's the problem there? Well, the only other thing I can think of is that you're doing is you're maybe not playing on Dueling Book enough, because if you are starting out, you might be playing against a lot of rogue decks, which are not a good representation of what you'd be doing if you went to a real tournament like the regionals or OICS, because you need to assume that at a higher competitive level of play you are going to be seeing higher level of competitive decks, right? Like, that just makes sense. I would be very surprised if you went to like YCS Bochum and everyone was playing like Ojama OTKs. Like, what? I want to live down to this end of a story. Like, how pretty these homes are. Ugh, jellies. Anyway, if you find yourself playing a bunch of rogue decks, that's not exactly super useful, although don't undervalue it too much, because when you go to a tournament like a YCS or a regionals, you will find that the first couple of rounds you would definitely have a higher chance of playing against rogue decks than you will meta decks, because a lot of people bring whatever they want to these things, and then they drop by round 3, so you don't have to worry about it after that point. But the first couple of rounds, you may actually find yourself playing against these people. So a couple of pointers when playing against rogue decks isn't the worst kind of practice you can have, although it's not exactly the most constructive for if you want to actually do super well at the damn thing. And if you are really a die-hard YGOPro fan, the only thing that you need to be completely sure that you are also taking into account that you don't necessarily have to do a Dueling Book, because Dueling Book actually has like separate sections, or it's more obvious that there are separate sections, is that you might end up practicing against some OCG exclusive card or some card that we don't have an import for yet. So that again is not good practice. That's not telling you anything. Oh, my Spiral deck doesn't play well against Brandish Maidens. Oh, okay, well that doesn't do me any good to know that, because they aren't in our game yet, so I won't see them at a tournament, so that's useless information for me, at least right now. So if you are trying to get good scrub right now, you want to be playing against stuff that you are actually going to be seeing, and YGOPro kind of just lets you play whatever as long as it's in the game, unless you specifically actively go out of your way to make sure that no one's coming in with like OCG exclusive decks. So hopefully this discussion was ahead a couple of pointers that you guys can use, so that you guys can go online and be successful, so that when you go to a tournament, you're not just thrown through a loop. And as far as that is concerned, I think the thing I will leave you with is, no matter what kind of practice you do, it will never, ever, ever be a replacement for the real thing, because there are just some intangibles that when you get there, you're gonna find that the pressure and the stink and how being crowded on a little bench with a million other people are just certain things that you just can't account for, that you just need to keep going to these things and keep practicing and bringing good decks and making sure your side deck's good and spending a little extra money to make sure you have the staples that you need, so that you can go to these tournaments and be successful, because that's what I'm trying to do, and I stink, so I need to take my own advice. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this nice little scenic idea. I think next time we're gonna go to Manhattan, and we're gonna see, we're gonna start to see some bigger sites, stuff that you guys are really, really, really interested in. I just wanted to go for a walk down in my local park, which is actually really, really nice. and see the water and things like that. But anyway, guys, if you don't troll the meadow, who will? I will see you guys for the next field trip.
Remember to subscribe so that you don't miss any of my totally rad dueling. Watching more of these videos is almost as fine as Taya's ass? What? I'm not saying that. Fine. Then it's time to duel.